What's going on, guys? We have a Knight Rider movie script to discuss. Now, since we haven't been hearing a lot of conversation about this lately, Jay and I thought we would give it the conversation it deserves. Back a few years, a little bit of discussion, kind of a hot topic. There was the rights to the movie were purchased, and then things got kind of quiet pretty quickly. So, yeah, we're gonna go there since nobody else did. We've got a little bit of an interesting take on that script. We're gonna read to you from it. We're also going to talk through this video a little bit about some of the ways that AI is in use today from the original TV show, and we're going to talk about how the movie could play out. Also, as a nice little bonus, we did an experiment. We decided to let AI design the new KITT. That by far has been one of the hottest debated topics in the comments on our videos that we have done about Knight Rider. So we decided, hey, let's let AI take a spin at this, and we're going to show you how that turned out. All that is coming up right after this.
Hey, everybody, welcome into this special podcast. Ooh, I feel like I just went in dark mode, man. Can we not get KITT to bring us into this, man?
Funny that you should bring that up, Jay, because I actually spent a fair amount of time in the past day or two looking for... AI can do everything, it would seem, right now.
Apparently.
AI can do so many things.
Yes.
So I thought, surely there's got to be somebody out there that has developed a program where it's like a text-to-speech KITT, you know?
Yeah.
Non-existent. Now, there are a couple apps out there on the app stores, but they don't sound... It's not William Daniels, who was the original voice of KITT.
Right.
So there is no such thing to date. Now, if any of you budding entrepreneurial engineering types want to go down that road, you could. William Daniels is still alive. You know, his voice has changed a little bit, but you can tell it's still him. And a few years back, there was actually an option on Waze as one of the voices. You could use KITT, but that is now gone.
Yeah. I'm sensing emotional distress, Keith.
Right. So, as of now, we have to do this on our own.
Okay.
The old-fashioned way.
I'm totally down. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We'll do it.
So we're going to get into a little bit of this whole AI in use today. We're going to take a look at stuff that was used in the original TV show, and then in a art imitating life, or life imitating art, as it were, as actually the art got there first in many cases, right, from the TV show. This is a rabbit hole, and the more we get into this, the scarier it gets, and the more fascinating it gets in terms of how good some of this AI technology is.
Can I just say, mind blown. And when you said rabbit hole, oof, you weren't kidding. I had no idea until we started talking about this. And this was just one of those things. Keith and I were having a discussion about, hey, what's going on? What have you been thinking about, planning for podcasting? And let's just, what's up? What do you want to talk about? And we always circle back around and joke about Knight Rider just because we love Knight Rider, right? It's a great show. There's been a few attempts to come back, and there's been a few attempts to trace some of the footsteps, to find some of the lost, like the lost trailer, the semi, all these things that have kind of rekindled this interest in Knight Rider. But the most important thing was what made Knight Rider so special was the AI that was involved. And then so what do? I'm thinking, hey, Keith, out loud, hey, Keith, what AI was used then that's being used now? Your mind is about to be blown, guys, okay? I'm just telling you. This is so crazy.
We could start with the obvious stuff, the watch. And I think the watch didn't come around till the second season or later. wasn't in the first season that I remember. And you guys that are historians are going to correct me on that in the comments, which is fine. We welcome your comments.
Right on.
But,
yeah, we take it.
Can you talk to your car with your watch today? Yes, sort of. I mean, the phone is the go-between because, we have Apple and Android
The
watches
interface, yes.
And those will also both run in your car as either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So sort of.
Right.
Can your car talk to you? Yeah. It can in that sense. The thing that we haven't gotten to today is the independent thought. There's an instruction and a reply to that instruction. And that's where we are with AI today. And everything we're going to show you is going to be exemplary of that. That said, we're getting dangerously close to kind of self-rationalization here from the things Jay and I have seen. And that's where it gets really, really scary. For example, there is an open source platform out there right now called ChatGPT. And for those of you that have not heard of this, I would suspect that you will be hearing a bunch more about this year and in the coming years.
I have heard more about ChatGPT in the last week than I have ever heard before. And I think that there's a reason for that. It's becoming more prominent in societal use. You've heard over the years of existence of these types of AI, right?
Right.
Experimental. Like we've been talking about Tesla and its use of AI for self-driving. That you hear it, it's on the peripheral. Is it truly good? Is it truly workable to use? And we'll discuss that in detail a little later. But the fact is that this AI is being put to practical usage. But it doesn't come without a lot of controversy.
So ChatGPT, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, and I mean, it's been used to write term papers. I have teacher friends that it's become a problem for because it's becoming more difficult to tell if it's a fake, if it's generated by AI, or if somebody actually wrote it. You put in an instruction, or you put in a sentence with parameters. Hey, I'm going to write a TV show. It's going to have a lone crusader. It's going to have a black car that has AI. It's going to, he's a crime fighter. And then take it from there, right? Give it the log line, take it from there. And so ChatGPT has been used with people inputting parameters to do things like these term papers. There's also, believe it or not, for those of you that don't know, some side projects that'll do art. So you have DALL-E, it's DALL-E, Midjourney, and some of these other ones. And basically it's the same concept. You put in some instruction on what you want the picture to look at. Jay, it could be, I want an oil painting. I want a comic, a cartoon style. I want modern art. I want, different. It understands the different artistic periods and genres.
Right.
And it will spit out, based on your parameters, your criteria, an image or a group of images that fit what you want. And so I played around with Midjourney to design the new kit, and we're going to get to that in a few minutes. But it did an interesting job. And I told Midjourney that I wanted a car that contained AI. And so Jay has seen what it looks like. The rest of you will see it in a few minutes.
Unbelievable.
But fascinating, right?
Very fascinating.
So some other stuff that was in the car, right? So certainly navigation and maps. Yeah, we're all over the place. We're there.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah.
Right? As far as being able to detect or scanning or radar or scanning buildings or looking for perps in the building or tapping into, security camera feeds and stuff like that, not so much yet.
Well, for the public usage.
For the public usage.
Correct. Right. I'm not saying that it isn't too far-fetched to know that there's probably that technology out there that we're just not aware of.
Sure.
At this moment, right?
Which would stand to reason that if you have somebody from a foundation like Flag that has, tons of financial resources behind them, they would have the most cutting edge tech. So it is a possibility, although it's not readily available.
Right.
Self-driving?
Yeah.
Should we go there?
Yeah, we should. I think we should go self-driving.
We're not there yet.
Right.
Jay and I have said many times on our podcast, partscounterguru.com, click on the podcast tab,
Right.
everybody, that we're not there yet. And the people that are doing things like putting tangerines in the steering wheel are really taking unnecessary risks.
Right.
Now, William Daniels, the voice of KITT, did an interview, I want to say about 3-ish years ago, where he was asked, what do you think about self-driving cars and automation? And Daniel said, hey, I don't trust them. It's not for me. So even the guy that voiced the AI
Yes.
was not a huge fan.
Right.
We're not there. Yeah.
It's not time to roll it out yet. And, it's not just Tesla in that regard, because we have even, and you guys can revert back to some of our videos over at youtube.com/partscountergurus, but we did a few videos on some of the, the downfall of, if you will, that type of technology, which it's not capable in reasoning certain situations. We talked about it in the national park that you have gone to several times. There is a split
crashing into rocks in Yosemite at a fork
in the road. Yeah. Or how many times has the AI just crashed right into emergency vehicles with their lights flashing because it was unable to make an assessment of what was actually happening at that moment. They're still at this point in regards to driving, I think, in my opinion, when it comes to autonomous driving, there's a human intervention that still needs to occur at this point. I don't think you can take that element out of it.
So the last thing I'll say on the autonomous driving front, if you will, is Tesla recently upgraded their computer systems that handle that self-driving platform.
That's right.
And it looks like it's starting to roll out in some of the production vehicles now.
Right.
They're going to add some radar. They've filed for some various changes with various government agencies to do so. But I think the thing that I'm inferring from that change, and I'm probably not alone here, is they felt like they had to make a change because the previous generation wasn't really capable of getting them where they needed to be.
Correct.
That's my inference. You may disagree with me. You're welcome to leave a comment, but it certainly looks to be the case.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Demographic has everything to do with it.
So self-driving, we've established from a KITT perspective, it's kind of there yet, but I would say not ready for prime time. Not fully automated. Hey, KITT, come pick me up at the back of this bank that I just stopped the robbery from, and throw the door open and all that.
Yeah,
right?
The best thing we can do at this point is Uber, right?
Yeah, right. Good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bulletproof cars, yeah, we're there. We've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Nothing really new there.
Yeah.
Bulletproof tires, we do have run flats. Technically not bulletproof, but we'll call that kind of a close second, I guess. The one that isn't anywhere on the horizon for any of us, Jay, that I'm sadly disappointed with is Turbo Boost.
Yes.
I just think that's the one we all wanted, but I think it's probably the furthest off.
Correct. But, however, there are some electric vehicles out there that might make you think you have Turbo Boost when they're going from 0 to 62 miles an hour in under 3 seconds. So there you go, right?
Right.
So we're making some strides. Maybe you'll have that Turbo Boost button at some point in your life.
So let's make a prediction here, and then let's get into a little bit of this movie script.
Okay.
Do you think, I guess the first question of two, do you think we will ever see a real-life KITT?
Yes, I do.
Okay, when? How many years away are we?
I think we're probably a good 20 years away.
Okay.
I think that's a reasonable, and I will tell you what it won't be a consumer product.
Okay.
It will be tactical in some way.
Right. Well, that's sort of what the actual TV KITT was.
Right, but I'm saying more use for government agencies or military that sort of stuff. I don't think that obviously there's going to be that type of vehicle available to the average consumer, and it may be sooner than that if that's where they are putting that technology, because then you take away some bigger factors that are in play right now, making autonomous driving not completely safe at all at this point. So 20 years maybe. I'd say where are we at? We're 2023 now, so 2033.
So let's talk car design.
Let's talk car design.
Let's get into the actual, again, one of the most heavily debated topics in the comments that we have seen on our channel was, what do you think KITT should look like if and when the new Knight Rider movie comes back?
Holy cow, did we open the floodgates there,
right. I mean, we've seen it all, right? And it's all there. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You can go back and look through some of those comments.
Please do.
And you can join the comments on this one and go right down that same path. So, Jay, are you looking at the three examples that I used midjourney? I just thought we might talk about these, and we'll show them to the viewers here. The first one, I think you said, looked kind of Batmobile-esque.
Yeah, it does, just because of the flares, the wheels themselves, and how the whole body profile works with that, as well as the fins on the rear. To me, it's very Batmobile-ish to me, man. It looks cool.
The criteria that I gave Midjourney, and again, this is so if you have an account for ChatGPT, you have the ability to log in and use Midjourney, at least as of now. Although it really needs to work through a voice chat app called Discord, which is wildly popular in the gaming community. Sideshot and I actually use it quite a bit when we game.
So how does that work? And you tell it?
Yeah, it's a chat bot. Okay, so there's a chat bot in Discord that is tied into Midjourney, and it accesses Midjourney's basically back-end AI, and you have a conversation with that AI.
Right.
So I gave it some criteria. I told it that I wanted it to do an image for me. Now, I didn't specify things like 4K, 8K. You can do that. You can actually specify the quality of the resolution that you want, all that. People have gone in and told it to create video thumbnails for YouTube videos. People have gone in and told it, make a podcast, like episode image for me, and so on. These are all things we can play around with. But I specifically gave it the following criteria. I told it to use a Trans Am body style. I told it had to be futuristic, and that it had to be a black automobile, and that it must have AI incorporated in the automobile itself. So you're seeing various representations of that. In the first image, you've got the sparks and stuff, and the lightning shooting off the back. And in the second image, which, it has kind of the Trans Am Firebird kind of wing.
It's like a Phoenix Rising kind of a thing.
Yeah. And that does look a little bit more Trans Am-y in the future to me, right, if you will. Yeah. And then the third one, for sure, you look at that and you go, that's some sort of like Trans Am looking vehicle.
Well, let me ask you a question. And this is just me running through a discovery mission here with my friend Keith.
Yeah.
Okay, so could at some point auto manufacturers or manufacturers in general use this to generate prototype type, and then, images for, say, future cars or future products or whatever, and then use that as a template, if you will, to work off of to even go further?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
As they say in Minnesota, you betcha.
You betcha. Well, you know what? That's insane. Oh.
People are using AI in this fashion as a starting point for their creativity. It will write scripts for you. It will do outlines. It will write there is virtually no limit if you can input the criteria to what you're going to get back. Now, there are some limitations in length. Google People call them Google. The parent company is now Alphabet. Alphabet started an AI spinoff called DeepMind.
Mm-hmm.
And DeepMind had a specific product. It's brand new. It's been out a couple months to the public, and it's not even really public access yet. And its sole purpose was to write movie scripts.
Insane.
And we talked a little bit about that.
I mean, is Martin Scorsese just like, or any of those guys? Like,
well, the good news is for Marty, Dramatron. Wow, that's like sounds like a Transformers character. Dramatron, everybody. Dramatron is the name of the product that DeepMind by Alphabet has created to write the movie scripts. It's not very good right now. ChatGPT does a better job of outputting scripts.
Okay.
And stories.
The other thing that there's limitations, obviously, for like current events, because they stop with information like 2021 and previous, right? Is that right? They haven't updated to current events, so you're only as current as 2021.
It depends
if you are
on the platform.
If you're plugging the information in, it really depends, right?
Correct. So, but on that note, it is a little scary how much connecting of the dots the AI can do on its own. Now, let me give you an example of this. So, Jay, can I read the script?
Absolutely, read that script. It's an award winner, man. We're going to the Oscars, man, with this thing.
So here's how we did this, everybody. We thought this was a great marriage of artistic AI, being the Knight Rider TV show, and the current real world AI that could be used to do something like write a script, a movie script. So we let an AI write the script. Now, think about this for a second, Jay. An AI writing a movie script about an AI scripted TV show.
That's just
with an AI.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Okay. Yeah, it's deep. Okay. Now, before we get into this, here are the criteria that I gave it. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I typed in. This was my second attempt ever at using ChatGPT, and it's not great, but it's pretty good for me not knowing what I'm doing.
I was like, okay, wow, really? Yeah.
Now, the title I did come up with, I think, just because I was like, it fits, and I wanted to call it Lone Crusader. So if this movie gets made, the title will be Lone Crusader, which all Knight Rider fans know is a reference to the man himself, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wait, sorry. I got ahead of myself. Here are the criteria that I gave it. Everybody, write a movie script starring a lone crusader that fights crime, named Michael, and his high-tech AI car named KITT. That's it. That's the entirety of what I told ChatGPT.
And so what you have here, this script was, for lack of better terms, puked out based on
You watched it. You watched the feed.
I did.
In real time.
I did watch you. Yes, I did.
So now,
and
if I may.
For our audience, please tell them, how long did it take AI to puke it out?
Less than 5 minutes.
That just blows my mind.
It started in less than 20 seconds, and then it continued writing the script like text scrolling for less than 5 minutes.
This just blows my mind. Okay, yeah.
So we start out in the city at night. The city is shrouded in darkness. Only the neon lights flicker and dance, casting an eerie glow. Suddenly a scream pierces the silence, and a masked robber dashes out of a convenience store with a bag full of money. But as he runs down the street, a sleek black car pulls up beside him. The driver's side window rolls down to reveal Michael, a rugged lone crusader with a determined look in his eyes. Hey, buddy, I think you dropped something. Okay, right there, I gotta stop. The hey, buddy thing.
Yeah.
This AI just knew.
Right.
That was a favorite term of Michael Knight's.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. The thief turns around to face Michael, but before he can react, Michael fires a grappling hook from his wrist, which wraps around the thief's leg and pulls him to the ground. Now, I suggest you stay put and wait for the police. Michael walks toward the thief and takes the bag of money from him. I'll make sure this gets back to its rightful owners. The thief nods in defeat. Michael gets back into his car. And here we have the first presence of KITT as an AI. KITT, an AI-powered high-tech car, greets Michael with a smooth, soothing voice.
Ooh,
Again,
where did he get that?
Not something I told
Right.
ChatGPT.
Right.
I can't do KITT, but I'll try. Good evening, Michael. How was your night? It was eventful as usual, but we got the job done. I'm glad to hear it. Shall I run a facial recognition check on our friend there? Jay, can you this sounds like something that would have been written
Yeah.
for the show.
Absolutely
right?
it does. Absolutely it does.
Yeah, let's see if he has any outstanding warrants. KITT scans the thief's face through the car's dashboard computer. It appears our friend has quite the rap sheet. Several counts of robbery, assault, and grand theft auto. Looks like he won't be causing any more trouble for a while. Indeed. Shall we drop him off at the precinct? You read my mind, KITT. Michael puts the car into gear and drives off, leaving the robber behind. And then we cut today. The sun shines brightly as Michael and KITT drive through the city street. Suddenly, Michael's wristwatch beeps. Okay, again, this was 100% inferred by the AI. Didn't tell it he had a watch. This is getting scary.
It is.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's another bomb about to be dropped here. Okay? Suddenly, Michael's wristwatch beeps. And Michael says, "What's the situation, Devin?"
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait a second. The AI wrote this script and knew there was a character named Devin. And Michael could talk to him through his
watch. Yes. This is blowing my mind, man.
And okay. Devin says, "Michael, we have a situation. There's a bomb threat at City Hall, and the mayor is in danger." And Michael says, "I'm on my way." Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this. I will post it. Basically, it cuts to a bomb scare scene. Michael and KITT have to dismantle that. But I will say there is a happy ending. It ends in a similar fashion as all Knight Rider scripts end.
Exactly. It's what we all waited for every week is for Michael to end the show. And, you know, you got the bad guy and they're in jail and or not with us anymore.
And at this point, Jay, knowing what you and I have gone through with this experiment, how close are we to Skynet taking over the world?
Do you have a knocking sound?
Like, what's the doomsday clock on, right?
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man. And here's what's really interesting about that whole script that was written. It's taking what it's aware of. It's awareness of stuff that's out there, technology, characters, you know, that sort of stuff, and putting it all together. What I found fascinating about this too is the fact that, you know, here's some things that were pointed out in this, and we did this earlier, which we talked about the watch, right? We use a watch. We have Apple Watches. We have the Fits, all that stuff, right? Facial recognition is a very, very common thing these days, especially on your phone. You got facial recognition to open the phone. Now there's a story out about TSA is experimenting in 16 different airports around the U.S. right now for facial recognition for TSA which has caused a bunch of controversy. It's pulling this information. It has this information. AI has this information and is putting it in the script, dude. That is what blows me away. And you didn't tell it to.
Nope.
You just said, hey, it's this. This is what it's the premise. This is boom. Go bake a cake, right? And that's what it did. It baked a really, really nice cake.
Not only did it bake the cake, it knew my favorite flavor. It knew my favorite icing. It knew the little sprinkly things that I like and what those are, you know, what kind of sprinkles to put on it.
Right.
And, you know, how many candles.
Right.
Right. And because I assume this is an event, like we're doing like a birthday or something.
Right.
I know. I just, yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
So I just, I have cause for concern here.
As you should.
Now, back to the Knight Rider script before we close. Are we going to see a movie anytime soon? I'm not sure, but I really do think it would be an interesting move. Back to your point, Jay, for creatives, you were talking about the auto industry using AI to render concepts. Why not give the Knight Rider movie a writing credit that was done by an AI? Let an AI co-write this movie, give them a credit. Think about the buzz that would create in moviegoers.
I think
we heard this was written by an AI.
I think the true Knight Rider fan base would be on board with that 100%, man. I believe that.
I'm not saying it has to be solely written by an AI.
Yeah, but still, to have AI involved, are you kidding me? Yeah. They should just leave us some comments. What do you think?
I think, guys, this is probably not the last time we're going to talk about this. So whatever platform you're watching this on, wherever you end up, make sure you're subscribed. If you've made it to the end, thank you for watching. For my pal Jay over there, I'm Keith, and we will see you on the next one.